What's up, you amazing people? I hope you're having a fantastic day. You are, of course, watching and listening to the Daily Dirty 30, also known as the DDT, here on The Kevin Lee Show. And I am your host, Kevin Lee. Now, for those of you who do not know what the DDT is all about, let me take a moment to explain. You see, it's a show that airs live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and it's where I get to spend 30 minutes telling you, the viewer, all about the things that bother me today. What do I get out of it? That's easy. It's therapeutic. Why should you tune in? That's even easier. It's entertaining. Sound like a fair trade? Good. Let's get to it. Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Daily Dirty 30 here on The Kevin Lee Show. Of course, I am your host, Kevin. Put it right there so you can see and you know. This is a show that airs, now I know it says Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, but that's kind of been tossed around a little bit here and there recently, and I think we're actually going to do 4 days a week, so I will have to update those graphics in the very near future. Essentially, I think we're going to be doing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and I hope that's okay with everybody watching, because on Wednesdays, we're going to start doing a weekly 1 plus 2 hour show on sports called Talking Sports with Kevin and Mikey. So make sure to check that out. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel for whatever reason, if you're insane and you're not subscribed to our channel, then please go ahead and subscribe to Kevin Lee, or the Kevin Lee Show, or what have you. Again, you go to thekevinleeshow.com and you will be able to find out everything you'll want to know about our podcasts, all of them, everything on there that you could ever imagine. But anyways, I just really want to say to everyone, happy Monday. And I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, I hope you had a good weekend. I don't know if you had a chance to get outside. I don't know what part of the country you live in. I don't even know what country you live in. You could be watching this from the UK, or Spain, or South America, or Australia, or Russia, or South Africa. You can be watching it from the West Coast, the East Coast, up in Canada. I don't know where the heck you're watching it, but wherever you are, I hope you had a chance to have a good weekend. Hope the weather was decent for you. I hope you got a chance to get outside, get some vitamin D, get a little bit of fresh air, get some exercise. I know I didn't. Actually, I got a little bit. Probably not as much as I should, though, to be honest with you. But again, that's human nature, right? It's how we all live. We never exactly do what we're supposed to do we? I mean, think about it. When's the last time you went to a doctor and they said, well, you need to make sure that you're sleeping 8+ hours a night and that you're eating healthy food, you're eating your vegetables and your fruits and doing all these things and getting exercise and at least 45 minutes a day and blah, 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 and doing cardio and losing weight. And how many of us actually do all those things? I mean, sure, some of us might get a wake-up call here and there or decide, hey, you know what, it's time in my life where I'm going to start taking care of myself better. And we all do stuff like that. I get it. No problems there. That being said, yeah, I think we could all do a better job of, just being outside and being in creation and enjoying life for what it is, right? Again, of course, if it's still Corona and it's still bad where you live, of course, you got to take your precautions and do what you got to do. I'm not saying that, but, get outside, get some exercise, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, and, yeah, just live life. That's all I can tell you. Now, that being said, what is wrong with all you people? Okay, so I guess that was a bit of a setup, but I spent a good chunk of Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday on social media, as I always do. Again, not constant, not nonstop, but just, going through my Twitter feed, going on what's trending, or going in Facebook and seeing what my friends are saying. And I gotta tell you, people, a lot of you people are just sick in the head. Like, so many people are taking pleasure in the fact that President Trump and his wife and members of his staff have now been diagnosed and come down with COVID-19. I don't get it. Like, I understand you don't like the man. I understand you don't want him to be president. Completely understand that, okay? I'm not a Republican. I'm not defending the man. I didn't vote for him in 2016, and I'm not voting for him in 2020. That being said, he is your president. You want him to be good. He is a human being. He's a fellow American. What is wrong with you people? Why would you attack someone that you don't even personally know, that you only know the things about that you see reported on the news by your quote-unquote favorite channel, regardless of what it might be? It could be Fox News, it could be CNN, it could be MSNBC, it could be ABC, NBC, CBS. It could even be NPR, it doesn't matter. No one is actually unbiasedly reporting him. So how and why are you passing judgment on this man? Again, if there are things that are confirmed and you know about for certain that you do not like about the things he's done, say an executive order he did, fine, denounce that. I'm sure there's people, even his supporters, who denounce certain things that he's done. There's no problem with that. If you want to say, you know what, I'm voting for Biden, I want him to be president, and I think he'll do a much better job, blah, 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 fine, great, go ahead. But to wish ill will on a person simply because you disagree with them, politically speaking, there's something seriously wrong with that picture. Like, I can understand if we were like in high school or junior high or elementary school, you know, or preschool for that matter. I could understand people acting this way. I could understand people being like, oh, screw that guy, karma's a bitch and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Most of you people that I'm interacting with, either people I actually know or people I've been following or interacting with on, say, Twitter or whatever for a number of years, you're all adults, or at least you're supposed to be. So act like it. Act like an adult, right? Wish someone well. You know, if you're a person of faith, maybe say a prayer for them. That would be a good idea. Regardless of what faith it is, I don't care. I don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or Hindu or Sikh or Muslim or whatever you are, you know, and you are an American or at least a human being, and say a prayer for them. If you're someone who is agnostic or even atheist but believes that, you know, in the energy of life and you think that good vibes are important and that they can influence things, then think positive thoughts, right? So stop acting like you're better than everyone else. In fact, let's just hop over to that subject right now, right? We all, everyone, including myself, need to be better, right? We need to be better for ourselves. We need to be better for our family members. We need to be better for our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, whatever it might be. We need to learn to be better people. Now, this isn't just speaking politically, right? Though that is a big part of what's going on right now and a big focus of not only my life, but the life of everyone around me, because I live in a country that's in turmoil. I live in a world that's in turmoil. And a lot of it has to do with this current election cycle that we find ourselves literally coming to a head at. Like we are right now in the stretch, right? We're not a year and a half ago when the primary started and when the Democrats were trying to pick somebody. We got our candidates. We have our nominations. We've had our Democratic and Republican national conventions. You know, we've had debates now. People are already voting, early voting or mail-in voting. It's already started. Like, we're in the final stretch right now. Like, just be positive. Keep positive. Be better. Right? If you want Donald Trump to continue to be your president, then by all means, vote for him. Okay? If you want Joe Biden / Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. I always screw that up. I don't know why. And the thing is, I did a whole show like on making sure we pronounce her name right. And I did pretty well for a while, but here I am yet still saying the wrong name. But it is Kamala Harris. Yeah, so please, if you want to vote for them and you want them to become into power and you want Democrats to take over the Senate or what have you, then please vote that way, right? Encourage other people to vote that way. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But don't be spewing such vitriol across the internet, you know, because let's face it, that is our world right now. It had become our world prior to COVID-19, but now that we're in COVID-19, it's just our entire world, because most of us don't go outside, and the ones that do only go to work or go to the store, occasionally go to a friend's place or something, or a family member's house, and that's it. That's all we're interacting with. A majority of our interactions are online, right? This is how we live. This is who we are right now. And this might continue to be this way for a while. Who knows? But that being said, we need to be better. And let's just get off of the political side of it. Just be better people in general. I see the way people are interacting with each other. And occasionally, I'll see something positive. Even if two people disagree, I can try to see, I've noticed from time to time, occasionally, rarely, people interacting with each other in a very mature, respectful way. Even if they have an entire view or a bias, and you know that they think one way and they want you to change your mind because they believe you think something else or whatever, they'll still try to come at it in a very positive way, and it's great, but it's rare. Like I had an interaction with that recently on Facebook, and I was very happy because I was actually honestly asking some serious questions about the Proud Boys, not to get in a big giant conversation about Proud Boys, but I always heard, lately at least, on whatever news medium going on, that the Proud Boys are white supremacists, the Proud Boys are racist, the Proud Boys are this, the Proud Boys are that. So I'm like, okay, but that's all I'm hearing on the news. Like, I'm not seeing any evidence. I'm not seeing interviews or videotape or, court cases accusing them of things. I mean, nothing. You know what I mean? So I decided to dig a little deeper into the Proud Boys. And when I did, I didn't find a whole heck of a lot. In fact, I went to their website and to see what they had to say about themselves. Because anybody, I don't care who it is, I don't care if it's Black Lives Matter, I don't care if it's Proud Boys, I don't care what organization, if they have an official site or official statements, I'm going to go to them first to see at least what they claim to be, or, what have you. And when I did that, I saw nothing necessarily completely negative. There were things where, you could probably take it somewhat negative, like, I forget what it was, something about revering the housewife and things like that. I know a lot of people would immediately see something like that and be like, what the heck? But a lot of it was like, pro entrepreneurship and they call themselves Western chauvinists and things like that. They're proud of being, in Western developed countries, and nothing necessarily negative. They say they were anti-racism. They say, they're members of people who are, men of color and even members of the LGBTQIA plus community. I never know where to stop with the letters. But yeah, so I'm like, I didn't see anything negative here. So I posted this on there and said, hey, if you guys have any evidence or any videos or whatever, anything that contradicts this, I would like to hear it because, I'm trying to keep an open mind here. Someone came on very respectfully and kind of built a case and said, hey, it makes sense that you started those places, and it's, I fully agree that's a good place to start, but, here are some other things, and they sent some links, and I checked them out, and there are a lot of questions that were raised by it, so it was good. And this is like an actual conversation you can actually have with somebody. Again, as long as you're trying to be open-minded, like don't be one of those people who are, when you're on the internet or on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, or Parler or maybe even Snapchat. I don't even use Snapchat. I have Snapchat only because I like to check out what my daughters post, because that's the only way I talk to them half the time, because they're young adults now. That's the only way I get to interact with them. But yeah, sad, true. But it's 2020. What are you gonna do? It's the year, the life, the timeline we're in now. This is how people are, right? Everything is through an app. Everything is online. Everything is whatever. But I see so many people faking that they're trying to be nice, faking that they're trying to have a conversation with you, and really all they're doing is going to be taking their view, and it might be an accurate view. I'm not saying it's not, but they're not trying to be genuine in their conversation. But it's nice to have a conversation with someone that is genuine. And even then, even if you disagree, that's completely fine, as long as you're respectful to each other. I think that's another important thing that we don't do enough. Like, people aren't understanding that you can be respectful even in disagreement. Like, when I was a kid, I would see adults who I know didn't agree on anything, let alone politics, right? And there are people who were very right-leaning, people who were very left-leaning, and especially back in the 70s and early 80s when Reagan was coming into power, and a lot of conservatives were proud and beating their chests, and a lot of, hippies and yuppies from the 60s and 70s were coming of age and trying to take a stance against their parents and, what have you. And I witnessed all this firsthand, and it was a different time because people could disagree, even though you could tell people were very passionate about what they believed and what they thought. They still could have a disagreement and then still sit down and have dinner together, and there wouldn't be people throwing things at each other or insults or picking up weapons like knives and forks, But I can't imagine that wouldn't be happening. Like, I'm terrified right now. Speaking of today, we're about a month out from the election, and I'm terrified what the outcome is going to be. Only because I don't see it being positive, right? The actual election itself, say November 3rd, is going to be a nightmare just because we're not going to know anything. And there's going to be the left claiming they're winning or won, and then the right is going to be claiming that they're winning or won. And there's going to be those type of battles and forces, right, going at each other, not only in the media, but in social media. Places like Facebook, I'm just going to turn off Facebook that day. Or I'm going to drink a lot and just spend a lot of time on Facebook with my popcorn watching what's going on, because it's not going to be cordial, it's not going to be nice, it's not going to be helpful, it's not going to be positive. It might be entertaining, but it's not going to be anything else of the sort. And because of this, we need to keep in mind that, November 3rd is going to be interesting because, and then and I've already seen people posting about this thing saying, by November 3rd, we'll know that Biden is president. No, you won't. Regardless, I don't care if he's up by 30 points. He's not going to be claimed president until all the votes are counted, and that could take weeks, and vice versa. Trump could be up by 35%, but guess what? As the votes keep trickling in, the votes keep getting counted, it's going to become more and more changed. In fact, there are a number of states that have all this mass mail-in balloting that they're doing, right? And they're asking people to mail in votes. And even though they're receiving them weeks before the election, they're not counting them to the day of the election. Could you imagine a state that normally has, say, 150,000 mail-in votes now have to count in 2+ million votes and start on the day of the election? It's a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. And there's going to be people playing games. There's going to be people throwing out ballots. There's going to be people saying, nope, I don't like that signature. Throw it out, even though everything else has been completely filled out and done fine, and the signature is fine. I don't think that's going to be the person. Or look at it, looks like maybe their name here and the signature here don't match the same handwriting, so I'm going to throw it out. That shit is going to happen, and it's going to be ugly. So we all need to be better. We all need to be honest. At the end of the day, my candidate is not going to be president this term. I just know it. Hopefully she does well. Hopefully, yes, I did say she's the only woman running for office this year. Her name's Jo Jorgensen. If you don't know about her, I highly recommend you go check her out. I think she is a good candidate. I don't know if she's a candidate I would have picked, but she's articulate, she's intelligent, she's a doctor, she's also a professor. She is someone I think that many of us can get behind. She has a lot of good ideas, and I think at the very least you owe yourself checking her out. And that's something else too, right? In fact, let's just get right to it right now. So do me a favor, right? We are going to check out the other side. Now, and it's going to be more complicated just checking out the other side. So what I want you to do is, if you are a Democrat, I want you to check out the Republican information out there. I want you to go on sites that Republicans use. I want you to interact with Republicans in a positive way. Vice versa, if you're a Republican conservative, I want you to reach out to people that are on the left, right? I want you to interact with them. I want you to have conversations with them. I want you to understand where they're coming from, or why they're unhappy with the way things are, or why they're scared. But do it with an open mind and an open heart. Actually check in with the other side. Especially, and let's face it, we all have relatives who are on the other side, right? And all my relatives are on different sides. Because no one else in my family, regardless of who it is, on my side or my wife's side or anyone else, everyone else is on the other side, right? So every conversation I have is with someone on the other side. And we need to start interacting with the people on the quote-unquote other side, because let's face it, we have a lot going on here, right? There's a lot that we need to unpack. And one way or the other, someone is going to win this election, right? Either Donald Trump is going to be reelected and potentially serve 4 more years, or Joe Biden is going to win and replace him, and then who knows how long he'll be in office before Kamala Harris takes over. But either way, someone is going to win. It won't be on November 3rd. It won't be on November 4th. Maybe it'll be within a week after the election. Maybe it'll be, who knows, if it's even close, if it's even remotely close, it is going to be a long, terrible, dragged out, no good, very bad process, right? There's going to be court battles, and those court battles are, one person's going to win a court battle, but then the other side is going to appeal, and it's going to be brought up to the next level, and then someone else will win something, or something will be upheld, and it'll be appealed again, and it's going to be going to state Supreme Courts, and probably even eventually the Supreme Court, just like it was in 2000. Again, I talked about this the other day, and I hope that I'm not the only one old enough here watching this or listening to this who remembers 2000, but that seemed like a lifetime to get resolved. I'm not going to kid you. I never thought we would have a repeat of that again, and that only took 5 weeks to get resolved. Now, 5 weeks sounds like a heck of a long time, But let's face it, I could see it literally going up to like early to mid January, like days before the inauguration, before they finally settle this and who wins. And even then, it won't be over. Okay, so the only way, honestly, that I see this being over in any way, shape, or form for anyone is this way, right? I see that. I see the only way this is being over is if the Democrats win and sweep everything. And I mean truly sweep everything. That is the only way I see this ending. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but that's the way it ends. Because let's say the opposite happens. Okay, let's say Donald Trump wins and he's reelected duly. Like they can prove it. No, there's no funny talking or funny messing around. You know, at the end of the day, at the end of the election, at the end of the court hearings, Donald Trump is awarded the presidency. But let's say, because there are so many senators on the Republican side going up for re-election this election, let's say that enough states are switch sides, and all of a sudden now the Senate no longer has any type of majority in a Republican hands. So, or even say it goes to Democrats, it's 51-49 or whatever it is, right? Then what happens, right? So you know the House is immediately going to impeach President Trump again for something, anything. He could have sneezed, or someone else could have sneezed around him and he didn't say "God bless you" or something, and they're going to impeach him for something. You know, maybe he put too much peanut butter in his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know what it is, but something is going to happen, and people are going to want to impeach him, and they will, especially if they have the Senate, because then the Senate can, use a nuclear option and then kick him out of office. It's going to happen if the Democrats can hold on to the House, which I have no reason to believe that they wouldn't, and they can overtake 4 seats. That's all they need in the Senate. It's over. Like Trump will be gone with probably even before. Well, by January, February, March, whatever. Like very early, he'll be gone, and that's a whole other battle. And then Pence will come in. Right? But then it'll be how fast can they impeach Pence, right, to get him out of office? Or can he nominate someone to become the vice president after him before he gets impeached? You know what I mean? It's going to be these games going on. It's not going to end, people. So if Trump wins and the Democrats take over, keep the House, and win the Senate, it's not going to end. The only way this ends, at least temporarily, is if Trump wins re-election and the Republicans can hold on to the Senate. Or if the Democrats win the election and then hold on to the House. I mean, nothing will get accomplished. If Republicans hold on to the Senate, they're not going to approve anything ever. Like it's going to be an ugly 4 years. But at least maybe it won't be as bad as it is now. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. Like, none of us are going to know. Right? We're just going to have to figure it out. Don't have to like it. It's just the way it is. But like I said, if you're a Democrat, reach out to people you know who are on the other side and see how they're doing. Right? Talk to them. And you don't have to necessarily talk to them about politics, but at some point you should, because I think people need to learn to have adult conversations again. Like I said, I had one the other day on Facebook of all places. And guess what? It was amazing. It was reassuring. Even people who I know are Republicans who disagreed with the person who had reached out to me or commented on my post, even they were cordial in interacting with them. And they did take their evidence and they did show, well, how about this article or what about this video? But they did it, like an adult. Like they hadn't, I mean, maybe they're behind their phone or their keyboard cursing the other person. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. The way they're interacting publicly is what matters, because that's the first baby step, right? If we can learn to be tactful again, right? And to actually appreciate each other and have an adult conversation publicly, even if we don't mean it, as long as we can fake it until we can make it, that's a baby step, right? So we all need to learn to reach out to people on the other side and check in on them. First off, to see how they're doing. Oh my goodness gracious, I need some water. Sometimes I talk too much, and this is what happens. Yeah, but we need to reach out to them, find out how they're doing, then try to strike up a conversation, right? Because even if you disagree with somebody, like I said, you can completely disagree with someone, but they have their right to have their opinions, right? And those opinions should be heard. We should be willing to have those conversations And again, I'm kind of the litmus test here because every conversation I have is with someone on the other side, unless I go into like talk to someone like on Twitter who I know is another libertarian. But even then, those conversations don't happen very often. Of course, they do happen on my other podcast, the Libertarian Hour, which airs every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. There's a little plug right there. But yeah, so if you go and check those out, yeah, you can definitely find a common ground, if you will, with people, right? And again, I love having adult conversations with people. It's just been so difficult to find one in the last, I don't know, 6 months, maybe even longer, but especially ever since COVID-19. I'm not going to dive into the whole COVID-19 thing, but come on, folks. Like, grow the fuck up. Really. Just grow up. It's science is science. And science is not settled in any way, shape, or form. Maybe masks help, maybe they don't. But it's our best guess right now, so, when you're in public and you're in a tight space, put on a mask. Otherwise, don't. And if you see someone not wearing a mask, don't attack them for not wearing a mask. Ask them. Maybe they have a medical condition. I mean, do you know how many people out there have things like COPD and terrible asthma, and they can't wear a mask for more than 30 seconds without wanting to pass out or even passing out? So be respectful of those people as well, right? And if someone wants to wear an alternative mask, like people out there I know who are wearing face shields because it covers the spit, it covers the droplets, it protects people. But everyone's like, well, you're not wearing a good enough mask. Stop being such an asshole. Like, people have issues, right? People have anxiety. That's an issue. I have anxiety, but luckily it doesn't affect me if I wear a mask. At least not terribly, I should say. I've had a moment here and there where I had a little trouble breathing or what have you, and it's not gone well. But nothing terrible, like I said. But yeah, so just be kind to each other. Reach out to their side. Check on other people, especially those who you do not agree with or get along with. Like if you have a family member, an aunt, an uncle, cousin, sibling, parent. Fortunately for me, I haven't had too much interaction with people that I know that are angry about the election, and they're out there. I know they're out there. I got friends and family who fall in that category, but luckily I haven't had to have too much interaction with them because, again, like I said, I don't care how this happens. I don't care who wins the election, as long as it has a positive outcome in the end. Which we won't even know for months, right? It'll be months, maybe even years before we have a positive outcome, one way or the other. So like I said, just do me a favor, check in on the other side, right? And if you do, and if they want to talk about politics, listen to their side. Like, don't just dismiss them or ignore them. Like, actually try to have a conversation. Don't get angry. Don't react the way you want to. Don't become an angry Karen or an angry Darren. Don't be acting like an idiot. Don't be insulting. Don't talk down to people. I don't care what side you're on. I don't even care, especially if you're a libertarian, because libertarians have a tendency of being a little sarcastic, right? We do. We have a tendency of dismissing everyone because we think everyone's wrong. But even if you're a libertarian, especially if you're a libertarian, put a good foot out there. Put a good face on. Let people know that you actually care, even though you disagree with them, right? So, with that said, everyone, we are already at 29 minutes, so we're going to get the heck out of here. But you know what that means? You know what time it is? It's time for a happy ending. So, like I said, I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone is having a good day, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And I will see you all back here tomorrow. And again, like I said, the show is probably going to start running Monday through Friday at same time, 10 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. or 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and we're just going to run with it for probably Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays for now, and then Wednesdays we're going to have talking sports. With Kevin and Mikey, and then starting sometime in the near future, we're going to start doing Talking Politics as well, which is going to be another live show that I do, and this one's actually going to be cool. Long story short, we're going to be having guests on. I'm going to try to bring you guys on. We're going to take some phone calls, and we're going to be trying to do some of the stuff live streaming while the debates are going on, if we have any more, things like that. But yeah, check it out. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, we will see you guys all tomorrow. So until then, bye.
Hey, non-binary offspring. Hey, non-gender specific parent.
Just wanted to let you know that dinner is ready, if you consent to it, of course.
I don't. I don't consent.
Well, I was thinking maybe in an hour or so, if you're up to it, me and your other non-gender specific parent can sit in the living room and breathe for a little bit. If it doesn't trigger you, of course.
You know, I'm not sure if I'm triggered by that or offended. Quite honestly, I don't know what to feel anymore.
Trust me, I don't know either, honey.
Oh my god, did you just call me honey?
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
That's harassment.
Please don't tweet about this.
I already did.
Well, it looks like my career is over.
Well, maybe think 20 times before you talk.
We'll have to live on the streets.
Well, that doesn't matter to me because my feelings are more important than all of our physical well-beings.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go into the living room and cry. I love you. You don't have to say it back.
I'm not going